Heather Warlick.
And I'm George Lang.
And this is Weekend Look, a discussion of local and national entertainment news. So today, George and I are talking about TV.
Yes.
And now that the elections are finally over and we're not glued to the debates, the campaign commentaries, election news, and all that compelling television, it's time to tune back into our favorite shows that we've been neglecting.
You know, my TiVo is full of shows, you know, dating back to September. I've done nothing but watch the news for the last 2 months, and so you know the hard drive's starting to fill up. So I've got.
What's on your hard drive?
Well, there's a couple of things that I'm that I'm looking forward to kind of getting back into the swing of, and one of them is a show that on NBC called Life. Okay, this is something that premiered last season, and it's about a cop who was convicted of murder and spent 12 years in San Quentin, for this crime that he did not commit, and was cleared on DNA evidence. Well, you know, once the DNA evidence comes in, he gets a huge settlement from the force. And they only sort of hint at how much it is, but we're looking at probably about a $50 million settlement.
Yeah.
So he lives this rather opulent life in his spare time, and he's having a hard time getting used to what things are like in 2008, because he was, before he, was convicted, well, people didn't carry cell phones. There weren't automatic sinks, so he's sticking his hand under water and is like, how does this work? And so, which is a pretty amusing thing, but he's also, while he was doing a lot of reading, and he became this sort of Zen master, so he's, they kind of, his partner kind of treats him like he's some kind of Buddha or something, and he's an extremely observant individual, and at the same, while all of this is going on, he's still trying to unravel this mystery about who actually did the killings and what kind of conspiracy was at play that resulted in him actually going to jail. There's some interesting characters in the show. He has this sort of a roommate who's actually his old buddy from prison, a white-collar criminal who was busted in a stock scheme, and he can't, he can no longer work as a stockbroker, but he's just sort of his man Friday, and handles all of his finances, and he says, I want to build a huge fence around my house. Well, he takes care of it. It's kind of an interesting thing, and you hear a lot about some of the people who have lived around this guy and what their theories are about what his deal is. So, but the problem is NBC's been moving this show around. It'll be on Friday one night, it'll be on Wednesday the next, and so you never know. I'm afraid that the thing's going to die. It was a victim of the writer's strike last season, so here's hoping that it'll get an extra shot.
There are a lot of shows like that right now that are, that just maybe came out, but they're dying on the vine, I think, because of all the election coverage and just everybody's attention to somewhere else.
Yeah.
I found a show the other day. I watched the one episode. It was called Valentine. Really thought it was a pretty good show. It was on the CW. And now I find out from Penny Solden, our TV editor, that show is only going for 6 episodes, and then they're killing it. So,
wow. Yeah.
But it sounds like that show Life is pretty deep, pretty heavy.
Pretty deep stuff, and there's a few others that are Life on Mars, which on ABC, that's coming on after Grey's Anatomy, which I've got like 5 episodes of that in the TiVo. But but that's definitely something worth checking out as well. So.
Well, I'm kind of into the lighter fare.
Yeah.
I have a couple of favorites. I'm really into The Big Bang Theory on CBS on Mondays. That's a really cute show. It's really funny. It's about these nerds. There's 4 guys. They're just complete brainiacs. They're physicists, and they've got this real cute blonde next door neighbor, and they're trying to learn better social skills and relate to her. And it's a cute show.
Yeah, it was done by the guy who did 2.5 Men, so it has that.
But it's a lot more family friendly than 2.5 Men. That show is so
it's caustic.
racy.
Yeah.
You just really don't want to watch that with your kids.
Right.
But, Big Bang Theory you can watch with the kids and then change the channel quickly, because after that is How I Met Your Mother, and that show's pretty racy. It's a great show. I really really like it.
Great. Yeah, I love it.
But,
great chemistry between the actors.
Yes, really good. I mean, almost reminiscent of Friends. It's really good.
Right.
I also like Samantha Who a whole lot. I think
I haven't seen that.
it's really well done. It's kind of light-hearted and fun. It's a chick flick for sure.
Right.
I've given up on Desperate Housewives.
Yeah.
Long since
lost
given up
cause.
on that. And then I'm almost embarrassed to admit, but I'm kind of a big fan of Dancing with the Stars this season.
Oh my God.
It's just funny because some of these characters on the show, my gosh, they're like, we have a little game in our house, guess which celebrity I am, and I'll get up and impersonate them. And it's hilarious because they're all so bad,
Right.
you know, so
Right.
it's fun. They're so bad, it's fun.
Yeah.
But hey, here's something kind of interesting, also TV-oriented that's going on this week. The Supreme Court right now is reviewing the broadcast decency standards again.
Yeah.
You know, it's just sort of every few years this comes about, and so some of these old, guys that, years ago dropped the F-bomb on TV are back in the news.
Right.
Bono dropped the F-bomb at the 2003 Golden Globe Awards.
And at the 2002 Billboard Music Awards, Cher, dropped the F-bomb also.
Yeah.
And those are the things that they're actually talking about, and as they review these standards of decency.
Yeah.
And so it'll be interesting to see how this affects the way these shows progress. I mean, because like we're talking, I mean, some of these shows like 2.5 Men, a lot of it's, I mean, it's not like they're using a lot of really harsh language, although they sneak a few things in, or at least allusions to them from time to time. But but a lot of it's we've seen a lot of pushing as far as getting some of these shows getting more racy over the years, ever since NYPD Blue and things like that. Now it looks like the FCC might be trying to push back and try to clean things up.
It's kind of a little bit ironic to me, the year that George Carlin died and the 7 dirty words, and that's exactly what we're looking at here. But I mean, just last night I was watching Private Practice, another show that I actually really like.
Yeah.
At the end of the show, there's this, montage where they jump from couple to couple to couple. Every one of them is naked. Every one of them. And you're just like, my daughter's sitting right here, and it's kind of
strategically covered, yet naked.
So I mean, they're not saying any of these 7 dirty words, but at the same time, it's like it's very, very suggestive. So
right.
I don't know.
It'll be interesting to see what happens. But when we look at the success that a lot of cable shows have had, shows like obviously The Sopranos and things like that, I think people are looking to see a little more that, because quite honestly, people have, a lot of people I know have really, have very free vocabulary.
Yes.
Yes. And so I think they want to see see people talk that who are talking the way they do. And
right.
I don't know. I think if they were to kind of put the lid on this a little tighter with broadcast TV, it could have a real squelching effect on the popularity of shows. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Or maybe the people who've been turned off by profanity on TV would be drawn back. I don't know.
Well, Justice Scalia, this is a quote I found from him, that he blames TV for corseting. Corseting, yeah. Tightening up the corset.
Corseting?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Of public discourse. And then Justice Ginsburg said there's no rhyme or reason to the whole thing because the FCC allowed Saving Private Ryan on network TV, which is just full of expletives.
Well, yeah, and they did it because they wanted to maintain the realism of that film. So if you do it once, then you can't do it any other time.
So it's interesting. Well, one more little note that I find is interesting. This weekend I'm going to go see someone from TV that won America's Got Talent. He is a celebrity ventriloquist. His name's Terry Fader. And Terry Fader just won he signed a $100 million contract to play for the next 5 years at the Mirage Hotel.
A ventriloquist?
In Vegas, yeah. One of the highest paid contracts ever in Vegas history. He has these puppets. It's called the 1,000, what is it? Terry Fader and his cast of thousands. and he's got all these puppets, and he imitates all of these singers, famous singers like Gnarls Barkley and Etta James and
all right.
Louis Armstrong. I'm going to see him Sunday night. He'll be in Oklahoma City at the Civic Center.
Okay, I've never seen this ventriloquist, but $100 million.
$100 million. So maybe you should YouTube him or something.
America has got talent.
George doesn't think America has talent. So anyway, well, guys, that's all we have for this week. For more entertainment news, check out the Weekend Look section of the Oklahoman, the A&E section of newsok.com, the latest issue of Look at OKC, and wimgo.com. So for Weekend Look, I'm Heather Warlick.
And I'm George Lang.
Thanks for watching.